We need to get out of this storm!
Maybe we should go back!
No! No, we've come too far!
Thought this might be of interest to you.
The Ark. Real page turner.
Just read it, let me know what you think.
Dad, isn't this the type of thing that got you kicked out of Virginia Tech?
Jehovah is God.
Ah, Noah.
And he is bringing his judgment to the earth. He's covering it completely with a flood. He commanded me to build this ship first.
Look at me, Noah. You know this.
Maybe we should go back. Get out of here. I feel so lost.
We are not lost. We are together.
I could end up in a wheelchair in a year or so. I could get so bad that I can't provide for you or raise kids.
When I met you, I believed in you. And then because of who you are and how you are, I believed in Jehovah.
So if God has given you the grace to get this far, then he will give us the grace to make this work.
There it is. So if it's up there and we find it,
Yeah?
what happens then?
We changed the world.
That's it, you guys. Hey, it's Benjamin Dane. This is Struck the Series Live, and I play Noah. But listen, we are here. This is, I think, our 7th episode. I can't believe it's been 7 episodes so far. And today is exciting for me because I have Todd Terry, who is a friend and also an incredible actor. We're going to talk about his career. We're going to talk about him playing the role of JB in Struck. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned. But also what's really cool is that we're going to have a special peek, a premiere of a scene we have yet to release yet. And you're going to be able to see it. It's a scene that Todd plays JB, and you'll be able to see a couple of the other actors as well. So it's going to be really great, really fun for you guys to see that. And I just want to tell you guys, listen, we are, this is something that's a little different. We are how can I put this? We actually are pitching this series to distributors, and which more than likely happen next month. But we're kind of pulling back the curtain on what we're doing. And a lot of times you don't see this. And this is a chance for our audience, for our viewers, our followers to see the whole process. Many of you have asked, well, where can I see it? Where can I see this incredible series? Well, it's in the concept stages. So if you go to strucktheseries.com, you can see a 5-minute proof of concept. We have been shooting, doing the special effects, working on Struck. Like I said, we're presenting to distributors in real shortly here in a couple of weeks. But we want you guys to be involved. So make sure you go to strucktheseries.com, look at the trailer, find out more about who we are, what we're doing, the story behind. This is the true story, you guys. True story about geologist John D. Morris and how he was struck by God to find the Ark with 13 expeditions to Mount Ararat. But also we parallel that story line with the story of Noah, the biblical story of Noah, not the other story of Noah that you may have seen a few years back. Not that story. It doesn't have any rock monsters. So, but if you go to the strucktheseries.com, join the Lightning Club, be a part of what we're doing here. You guys have the power to make things happen, much like The Chosen, how people got together and said, you know what, I want to see a series like this. You can do the same here with Struck and make Struck happen. So get involved, go to the website. And I'm going to pull up right now some of the artwork that we've got here with Struck the Series, so you guys can see that. But basically, we want you guys to be involved. So go to the website and also sign up for the Lightning Club, because the Lightning Club will give you access to the latest and greatest information for Struck the Series. What we do is we send out a once a month a communique called the Struck Bolt. And it is a newsletter that we send out to only our followers. So you get the latest and greatest information about the development of the series. And so you can see that. But I encourage you guys to sign up and let us know that you're following us. And then there's no financial commitment whatsoever. And we're not going to sell your information. It's just to get you guys involved in what we're doing. And then also there's Struck merchandise. So you can purchase t-shirts and caps and all kinds of stuff. I'm wearing some Struck merchandise right now. But when you do this, it's a statement of faith, but also you are contributing, because all proceeds go to the development of Struck the Series. So make sure you guys do that. Like I said, we want you guys to be involved. And Struck the Series is, like I said, it's based on John D. Morris. It's a true story. And then we parallel that story with Noah in the Bible. And through the story, through John's story, we're actually bringing in real life episodes, things that have happened to John through his life, how he really was struck by God to find the ark. But being a geologist, he wanted to prove that the evidence was true of creation and Noah and the flood. And in doing that, he assembled this motley crew of climbers, and they went up in 1972 on Mount Ararat. And one of those guys was John Bultema, JB, they called him, and not to confuse him with John Morris. And so they started calling him JB, but JB went up with them. And so that's who Todd Terry plays. And like I said, we're going to premiere a scene today, so you want to stay tuned for that. But I really want to speak with Todd about his involvement in the show and what he is all about, because you guys, he is an incredible actor. And I am very excited about introducing Todd to you guys. If you don't know him, you should. So welcome to the stage, Todd Terry. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Ben, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me, buddy.
You bet, man. You bet. People may not know, but Todd and I have been friends for a while. We did a production together a while back, and I just, appreciate your career. I mean, you guys just don't know. He has been in so many productions, and it's incredible to see your career and what you've been able to do, man. I just appreciate you and your friendship, but also what you've been able to do as an actor out of the Dallas area, which is crazy, because a lot of people think, well, you got to go to Hollywood to make it happen.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that. How did it all happen here in Texas for you?
Well, I started in the theater in high school, and then I ended up going to a theater conservatory, a 2-year classical training program, and did summer stock. And I moved to Holland with a theater company early in my career. But it was somewhere in between that and after where I got interested in film and television and commercials. And in Dallas, commercials were more of the thing. So I started, I started taking some classes, and, early on, I was very fortunate to get a few commercials like Brahms, Pepsi, Phillips 66, which I actually got cut out of that commercial. There's a long story about it, but Bell's Department Store, things like that. So that was kind of the beginning of my career and getting into it. And then, from there, I started auditioning for shows like Walker, Texas Ranger, which we can talk about later. But that was kind of the beginning of it. No one ever really thinks of, or didn't in the past, Dallas is a big, market for film and TV, but it's grown over the years.
It certainly has. And I know in the 80s, I guess Dallas was shot here, and then Walker, Texas Ranger, and Wishbone, and several films. I think my first film was in the late 90s, I think, early 90s here as well. So it just, it's amazing how it's grown, and today how much it's grown. Yeah, that's incredible. So my wife the other day was watching, she kind of, kind of binge watches several different shows, and she watched A Woman of Independent Means with Sally Field, and there your name was. I was like, I didn't know Todd was in this, and I knew it was shot here, but I didn't know you were involved in that.
Yeah, that was I can't even remember where that was shot, but I do specifically remember the experience. It was a very interesting experience. It was a mini series, but yeah, that was back kind of, I think I did another one called Heaven and Hell, which was based on the North and South series about during that whole time frame. A bunch of like made for TV movies back in that day, with old school names like Laura Layton from was it Melrose Place or one of those shows. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. When you're a younger actor, there's a lot more opportunity. At least I found for myself, especially in Dallas when they brought these, TV movies and things. So I just, I was real fortunate to be able to work on that stuff. Because I think you learn a lot being on a set, period. I'm a big advocate of, if you're new to the business and you want to do stuff, go, work background on a set, do anything you can to try to get that experience. Because it all helps in the long run.
Right. And I know you were involved in Wishbone as well, the PBS series, and again Walker Texas Ranger, like you said. I mean, just a lot of that's when when we were all young, but there was a lot of stuff going on, like you said, in the Dallas area.
Well, let me say this, and part of the reason I think I worked as much on Walker Texas Ranger was my height, because I wasn't taller than Chuck. So, because I remember in the casting office, they literally had a marker to kind of see what your height was.
Yeah,
because they didn't want people towering over the lead, which is completely understandable. But that was also back in the day where you could play multiple characters in different seasons and the audience didn't care one way or another. Our producers didn't care. And it was great for actors, because I played an FBI agent, a punk kid, a Texas drunk guy, just a bunch of different characters. And I ended up playing the doctor on the last couple of seasons, I think. But yeah, that was and Wishbone's the same way. You can play a bunch of different characters and have fun. In fact, that show was such a great show, and I don't know why they took it off the air.
It was incredible. I love the fact that it encouraged kids to read, and it brought to life these stories, from literature. It was so good. Very well done. I think it lasted 3 years or something, 3 seasons, but it was so good. And that was the reason I was never called in to read for Walker, because I think I went in once and they're like, nope, that guy's not gonna be on our show. But yeah, it's you worked a lot. And then tell us about this pivotal role from Breaking Bad, because that was something that, man, this was like, I don't know, would you call it a big break for you? Because this is a series that was not shot in Texas, and I think it was shot in New Mexico. Tell us about that role and how it came to be.
Yeah, so I had auditioned out of Dallas. This is back in the day when we went to auditions, which it rarely happens anymore. And I had a call back, no idea what the show was, other than it was this new show they had been on one season, I believe. I get the part. Back in the day, I played a lot of, cops, DEA kind of guys. So I go there to New Mexico. It's my first time out of state to shoot anywhere, as an actor. So that was really cool as far as film and TV. And we get to the trailer, and this guy comes in the trailer, and he's got these shirts that say Breaking Bad. And he gives them to us. And he says, "Hey, thanks for being a part of the show." And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I know that guy. That's the guy from Malcolm in the Middle or Seinfeld. It was Bryan Cranston, obviously, but had no idea, because the show had not won an Emmy yet. And it wasn't until that following season, I think it was two. I can't remember when they won an Emmy. I was in season two a couple of times, two or three, if I remember. And but it was after that that the show blew up, and then it became El Camino and Better Call Saul, which I was really blessed to be on all three of them. As my same character. Those things you never know if they're going to happen. I heard one of the producers. He was talking to me, but he made some comment. He saw me and one of the other actors who I was in the show with regularly. He said he saw us hanging out talking one day, and he just really liked our camaraderie, something along those lines. And I guess I can attribute that for me getting to come back, because initially I was only in supposedly 2 episodes in season 2, and then my character comes back in season 5. So yeah, it was a great experience. Whether it was career changing, it's kind of hard to say. I would say it doesn't hurt your resume.
No.
And when people see it, they have a lot of questions. So yeah, I loved being a part of it. I can say that.
It became to be such a huge show, and to be a part of something like that, I think it does. Like you said, it's great for the resume, but to be involved with something like that really was kind of it was a monumental show that changed a lot of television. So it was, I think that alone, to be a part of something like that is monumental. But well, for a lot of people that don't know, I work with Todd, and I think I can't remember Todd. I know that we knew each other, and it may have been from auditions, and I know
we were in class together at Michelle's. I think at one time. For a while. So I think that was the original connection. But yeah.
Yeah, and then we started, a friendship with Andrew Labrizzi, who I had worked with in several of his plays and so forth. But then I know we were doing table reads quite a bit for so he could work on his screenplays. And one of those was Beyond the Farthest Star. And you had come in several times and were reading with that, just to help, the writer needs to hear his work.
Yeah.
And it was great, that we got a chance to kind of workshop the script. But we did work together with Andrew Labrizzi, and I co-produced the film with Andy, Beyond the Farthest Star. And we found ourselves the first day of shooting, and we were all set to go, and something happened where we lost our lead, and you got a phone call. So how did that happen for you how did you start? What was the first time you heard you're going to be playing Adam Wells?
Yeah. So I can add to that story too, because you and I also did Stillborn.
Yes, that's right.
That was before. That was like the short that kind of led into a lot of that stuff. But yeah, so I had auditioned for Beyond the Farthest Star several times. I've been part of table reads and whatnot. And, and I knew there was a very slight chance I would even be a part of it, because they wanted somebody with a name. And so Andy, probably 2 weeks before y'all started shooting, had messaged me and said, "We've gone with this other actor." I'm not going to mention names, but and I said, "Yeah, I get it. I'm disappointed, but yeah, I get it." Well, long story short, they start shooting, and the day of, I get a call probably at about 5 p.m. I can't remember. It was late enough where I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, can you be up in Leonard, Texas tonight?" I'm like, "What?" Yeah, we had to let go of the actor that we had. I won't go into detail, but to let go of that, I'll let you say anything if you want to. But yeah, and I literally, by the grace of God, didn't have a lot going on for the next 3 weeks, which I needed to be free. And I drove up to Leonard, Texas, and bam, hit the road, working on the deal. And the blessing of it was I had worked on the script so much, as far as some of the bigger scenes, dialogue wise, prepping for auditions, that I was already somewhat ready. So it wasn't like I was totally thrown into the lion's den. But that was a great lesson for me, and hopefully other actors, is always be prepared.
Always be prepared. You never know. And we had to. It was a name, Star, and I won't say who that was. Many people may know. I don't know if people know. But I just remember TMZ calling me once we had to let him go. It was a crazy time, and poor Todd was just, he was asked to be the lead. Like, I mean, seriously, you guys, overnight he had to be right there on stage or on location in Leonard, and his first scene was, we had the house, we had to shoot in the house, and it was this dramatic, epic, very emotional scene, and I'm just going, wow, Todd, what an amazing actor you are to just jump into the fire like this.
Yeah, it was a cool experience, and everybody on set was so great to work with. So yeah, but yeah, to get thrown into that as a lead, not having done a lead before, was, I learned a lot of lessons as well, but it was a great experience.
It's a really great film, and Todd is just phenomenal in the role. And we also had Renee O'Connor, Barry Corbin, just
Benjamin Dane.
I play a small part.
Yeah,
but it was an incredible film, and if you guys have a chance to see it, you can see it on Fandango at Home, which is formerly Vudu, and I think you can see it for free there. And you also can rent and buy on YouTube or Google Play. So if you have not seen that film, you got to see it for Todd's performance, but also it's a great story by Andy Labrisi.
Yeah.
Incredible film. I am still to this day very proud I was involved with that production. But yeah, well, tell us a little bit more. I mean, man, you've done so much stuff. I mean, American Crime, the award-winning series that you were on, Walking Dead. I mean, like you said, El Camino, Breaking Bad, so many different amazing secular projects that you were involved with. What keeps you grounded in all of that? I mean, I know it's kind of a dark world out there sometimes, especially, in these large productions, but what keeps you grounded?
Well, my faith in Jesus Christ keeps me grounded in general in life. But when you're in those environments, you never know what they're going to be like. And so, I think having the Holy Spirit with you to to kind of guide you and lead you in decision making I couldn't do it without that. But I think what I've learned more than anything is be gracious to everyone around you, not just because they may get you a job in the future, but you don't know what people are going through. And sometimes people are not really nice, but try to just maintain your own integrity and be gracious with people, because, and I mentioned this to you before we even started, but I had a situation early on in my career where I worked with a very well-known actor, and I had a scene with this actor, and the actor never once said hello to me. Never, we didn't run lines, nothing, just not even a, hey, nice to meet you. And we did the scene and I was out of there. And it was so disappointing for me as a young actor to see someone that I looked up to. Not that I have bad feelings toward this person, but just to know that I would have loved to have that, just, hey, they were so nice, but I have no idea how they are because they didn't say hello.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that, taking the set, as far as being grounded, just be nice. I guess that's what I could just be nice to.
I hear you. And that's so true. I've seen that same thing on sets, and I know with television, everything's so quick and fast, but it doesn't hurt to be nice. It's a one thing that I think you hear so much of it, and honestly, which is really sad. Some of the bigger names, I don't know what it is, if they've got life on their mind, or they're in their character and they don't want to break. But I've seen that a lot. I've seen it a lot, and I think that when you are kind, it shows, and it also shows the Holy Spirit is at play when you're very cognizant of who you're around, and you never know who's watching, and you're always, a witness. And so I think it's real important. But I want to say this to you guys. You can comment live and you can ask Todd questions. And if we have a chance, we will be able to cover them. But I want to kind of just look to see who's online now. We've got several. We've got Cassie Tilton online. Hey, Cassie.
Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie's here. We've got Amanda Llewellyn. Hey, Amanda. Annette Truckee is on. Hey, Annette. Let's see. Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen is here. Sue Ellen Roberts, executive producer of Struck. She's on. Bob Thomas. Wow. Bob Thomas says one of the best actors, but even a better man. So see, that says a lot, Todd. That says a lot. We've got Cindy Navarro on as well. Let's see. Cindy said that Stillborn can be found on Amazon Prime. So if you guys want to catch Stillborn, I know Todd mentioned that was where we did a short together. Both Todd and I are involved in that project, but that one won a few awards. In fact, Todd won Best Actor at Project 168 for that. I have
a cool story kind of about that too, which I'll tell you later when we talk about another film. But yeah, it's called My wife's in it too, and also my youngest kid's in it when he was only like 6 or something like that. And now he's like this.
I think he's grown up. Yeah. Yeah. They were both amazing. You know, it's a great little film. You guys should watch it. And Anna is online too. She says, Todd is always so gracious. So that's coming from his wife, but that says a lot, I think, coming from the wife.
She's got to say it,
She's got to say it. No, I don't know if she has to say it, but she knows you more than anyone else. So it's a good thing. Let's see. Randy Reeves is on. Hey, Randy. Oh my gosh. How you doing, man? Trudy Connor, Tom Costello. Let's see. Trevor Huffman, Alan Connor. Let's see. Candy Rose. Let's see. Oh, Karen Golden. Hey, Karen, how are you doing? I didn't know you were on. Let's see. We got several people, but listen, if you guys want to ask a question, I'll try to get to you, but I want to keep going with Todd because we've got a lot of ground to cover. But so listen, here's the cool thing about Todd is that he's worked in so many secular projects, but he's also done a lot of faith-based. So it seems like you kind of gravitate more to faith-based or more for faith-based than I think maybe almost any other actor that I know. So I am real excited about all the projects that you're working on, especially some of the things that I've seen, like Jesus Revolution is one of the ones, but Unbreakable Boy, talk about that. That's going to be amazing with Zachary Levi.
Yeah. So that's the one I was referring to. Actually, when the award got the award for Stillborn, he was the MC that actually handed me the award. And I was like, oh, this is really cool because I'd known him from Chuck and whatever shows he was in. I think it was Chuck. And so I get this part and this is another thing about perseverance. I did not get an audition for Unbreakable Boy. And I knew some people that had, and I messaged my agent saying, please let the casting know that I'd love to audition for it because I know one of the producers. Well, it turns out I didn't know one of the producers. I didn't purposely lie, but I thought I did. But I told her that. Anyway, I get the audition, I get the part, and I'm there, and I'm like, yeah, I think I was talking to the director saying, I think I worked with the producer on this other film. And he goes, no, he didn't work on that film. And I realized I had totally lied by accident.
By accident.
And I ended up getting the part, but it's funny. He's like, Zachary is like 6'3", 4, I don't know how tall. And I'm like 5'9". So there's quite a height difference, but it was a great experience. Got to work with Patricia Heaton himself. My names are escaping my head right now, but I'll think of it later. But such a great film. When I read the film, I was laughing and crying at the same time. It was such a great script by John Gunn, who's the director as well. What
I've
else
seen
can I
the
say
trailer.
about it?
It looks fantastic. Now, when is it coming out, Todd?
I think it's coming out early 2025, so maybe February is what I've heard last. But we shot it. So we shot it 3 years ago. And then they were doing American Underdog, which had already come out, and I had booked a role as Zachary's father in American Underdog as well, which is really odd because I went from that and I was going to play his father in that. I got COVID when I was in Oklahoma during that snowstorm, and so I didn't get to perform the role, but it would have been kind of cool. But that's the story.
Wow, wow. Yeah, this looks like a fantastic project. And if you guys can make sure you go out and see it, support Todd and support this great film. And you said it's from the book, right?
Yeah, it's based off a book, and as books go, I'm sure they took some liberties, but it's a
Mhm.
really great script. All the actors are just tremendous. It's a really great, heartfelt story. Um, just, just absolutely love the experience.
Well, we have to talk about one production in particular, and that's Vindication. Now, you guys are in your fourth season, right?
Yeah, so 3 seasons are out. We are midway through the 4th, season as far as filming goes. We wrap everything up toward the end of May, but we just, I think, have a couple episodes left to film. It's gonna be an 8 episode arc on season 4. And it's going in a little bit of a different direction, I'll say that much, just for the viewers that have seen the show. But I think it's really interesting, and it keeps the Travis family alive, and we'll just see what happens. But that was a really interesting experience how that happened. And Beyond the Farthest Star is kind of attached to it. So in fact, I think it was when you were president of is it CMA? I forgot the
Yeah.
name of the,
Yeah,
yeah.
CMA.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I'd been asked to speak about Beyond the Farthest Star. And after that meeting, this guy comes up to me and says, "I'm doing this short film. Would you like to be a part of it?" And I said, "Yeah." Turns out it was me and Ben Davies. And, it was a one episode, it was just a short film. And then from that has turned into this entire series, which is a rarity. But, it was, that's the grace of God. The way I look at
Yeah.
it is just these things happen. And it wasn't anything other than you just got to stay in the game and keep doing your work, keep building yourself as far as your craft goes as an actor, and just be ready because you never know when the opportunities are going to come.
It's great to really see that series evolve, and you've got a great cast that also is involved with it. Venus Monique, and gosh, Cameron
Yes.
Arnett is involved as well, and so many great actors, and I love the premise of the series, and it's really evolved over the years. Tell us a little bit about how it's evolved.
Well, production values increased every single season. Obviously, if you've seen it, the stories are great. What I really love about the show is that it talks about heavy subjects like you see in any detective series, but it doesn't get gratuitous. So I think it's a show that your kids up to a certain age could watch it, and you can have conversations about it, and yet it's not shying away from those heavy topics that are out there in society that we as believers have to deal with. But yeah, I mean, we have a great DP, great director, great crew, great actors. It's a family type set, so when you're there, everybody works really well together. Yeah, I just love the experience. I know I'm saying that about everything, but they're all really good, and I have no complaints.
No, it's so cool. I mean, that's one of, like you said, a once in a lifetime thing that you get a chance to do something like that and really evolve with the series. And it's really a testament to Jared and what he's been able to do with the
Yeah.
series, and how it's grown. And you've got this incredible following with that series. It's the kind of following of course, we want for Struck as well. And I've got on the screen now the character that you play in Struck, JB. Tell us a little bit about JB and his character. This is a real life character. How was it playing someone that was real? And I want to say too that we've got Carol on, and Carol is watching. She is JB's real life daughter. So it's kind of cool to have her on and have you on at the same time to talk about John Boltema.
Yeah, I actually just followed Carol the other day on Instagram. Yeah, so and my apologies as the character. I may not be anything like your dad, but from what I've read, he was an amazing man. To me, he comes across as a Renaissance man. He was avid skier. He owned multiple companies, steel companies. He was in the marine business for 30 years. He, became a pilot. What else? He served in World War II in two different submarines. And then he ended up buying, and I may pronounce it Tautog. It was a USS Tautog. It was basically one of the most well-known submarines back in the time. And he apparently bought it and used it as a museum piece for free for people to come tour it. That's my understanding. So he had, I think, there are 9 kids in your family, Carol, if I'm correct. 80 grandchildren? I mean, who can say they have that many grandchildren?
Oh my gosh.
So
I know, I just read that he was skiing, I think, still in his late 80s. He was skiing with his family.
Up to 84, something like that.
Yeah. Just nuts.
Yeah, but anyway, just a real Renaissance type man.
Yes.
And not having known him, I just have to pull what I understand through reading. But yeah, really, really great man. So it's been fun to I always try to bring you always bring your own life experience to any character, but it's always nice to be able to have that kind of background in who this guy is that you're playing. So you seem like you have a really great dad, Carol. So love to be able to try to play him the best I can.
So, I wanted to also kind of let people know that what's interesting before we're going to show the scene in a minute with you guys. And I'm excited about it too, because I believe Todd and Gabe were going to join us as well to check it out. But I think it's just really interesting that these guys, JB was just this learned man, kind of an extreme sports guy, and how he was brought in to climb with John Morris, and who was more of a geologist that became kind of a modern day Indiana Jones. And you had the young Roger that was, I think he was maybe 21 years old or something like that. And they were all struck with lightning. Which was crazy, and they kept climbing. They just kept searching for the Ark, and I think it says a lot about the character of these men and who they were. But a lot of people don't know this. When you auditioned for the role of, you didn't audition for the role of JB. That was something that came along. Talk a little bit about that. We had to cast this very quickly when we were shooting it last year. And I asked Todd to audition, but it wasn't for the role of JB. Can you tell him what happened?
Yeah, I was auditioning for actually John's father. John's the lead in the show, not JB John, but the other John, and John Morris. And I was auditioning for his father. It was Henry, correct? Yeah. Forgive me if I'm if I'm not right.
Henry Morris, yes.
Yeah, and I think at the time I had a beard. And, I read it, and you called me a week later or something and said, "Hey, we have you in mind for another character." And I was like, "Great. It's great to be a part." But yeah, Giannis is the one that got that part, and he's perfect for it.
He is, yeah.
So I was glad to be a part of it. And it's kind of cool to be a part of, the crew that's actually doing the climbing. That was a great experience when we shot it.
Yeah, it really is great because you guys were both so good in the role, and you brought different intricacies to the role of Henry, and it's an important part, but JB's an important part as well. And it was just really interesting. I felt like when we were talking amongst ourselves, we thought, wow, we want to cast both these guys, because they did such a great job. And but then I just felt Giannis was more toward the fatherly figure guy,
Yeah.
But we kind of we decided to cast Todd. He didn't even read for JB, and JB was really a smaller role originally, and it kind of grew, and it probably will grow even further just because we've got Todd on board. But it's a great role, a great character, a great real person to play, I think, as well. But yeah, you guys can see that's Giannis there in the far right corner. That's the role of Henry. But what would you like to see happen, Todd, with the Struck series?
First of all, I have to put my glasses on to see the comments. But yeah, of course, I would love for it to become a series. I think it would be a great series, and I love the interconnection between Noah and this time and bringing those two worlds together. I think it's a fabulous idea. And I find that, at least my experience recently, is I've been doing more pitch pieces similar to this to get feature funding for features, and I think it's such a great idea. Now's the time to do it. But yeah, I hope it becomes very successful. It's a cool story. And one of the comments, Cassie asked, "Did you guys actually climb in snowstorms?" And no, we didn't. But that's a testament to Wes and Amanda's what do you call it? Their green screen abilities to make everything look like you're really in a snowstorm. We just were acting. Yeah. Yeah, and you can talk more about that, but it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a parking lot at Capernaum Studios that we shot all that, and it really is just a miracle of sorts how it all kind of came together. And you guys saw it from the opening teaser from the show, but it is amazing. It looks so intense. And, you guys did such a great job because I think it was 65 degrees and you're like decked out in mountain climbing gear. And, we were having, I think, potato flakes, in the air. Yeah, but it looks fantastic. Well, I wanted to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and play the scene, and I want to kind of get your comments if you can stay on. I know Todd's got to leave real quickly, you guys, but I want to play the scene. And I'm hoping you guys can, I know everyone wants to see this, so I want to go ahead and play it. And then Todd, hopefully we can check back with you and check your thoughts. So here we go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
John, this is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. When we arrived, you said it was supposed to be there, but it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. The reservations weren't there. The vehicle wasn't there. Nothing was. No permits. There's no hotels. John, do you mind?
I can't help that things got canceled mid-flight to Turkey, Roger. But now we have a van. And we do have permits. Kind of.
Look, it cost us something. Maybe you should have called a couple of other people.
Have you tried to make a person-to-person call to Turkey, JB?
No. Good point. What are we going to do if we don't have money for food?
God provided the van.
I thought JB did. No, God provided the van. Okay, but if we run out of money, we won't quit worrying about the money. The van is covered, and rumor has it that the people in Turkey are somewhat hospitable.
We have state approval for 5 days. We just need the local gendarme to sign off on us going up the mountain.
Great. Everything is still up in the air. Maybe we need to reassess what we're doing.
Reassess?
Here. Yes.
A couple years ago, I wasn't even on this path. I was doing my own thing. But then, I got it. I got it so bad.
Park fever!
Park fever! Yeah, Jesus fever. That's more like it. Call it whatever you want. It's all I could think about was doing His will.
Preach, brother.
And that's the goal, gentlemen. God's will. Now we are going to get up on that mountain. And we're going to find the Ark.
Yes, we are. This might be my last
crazy adventure. But I got that fever!
Maybe we're all crazy here.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
Wow. There you go. What do you think, Todd?
I love it. My only thing, we have storm weather here, and it kept stopping on my end. But other than that, I love it. And I've seen most of it before, but it looks great. I like what they did with all the green screen stuff. It's amazing what you can do these days.
It really is.
And yeah,
it really is.
I love it.
Yeah, no. Carol just said, "I'm glad you're playing my father, Todd." I love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate that, and I hope I do him justice.
That's so cool, man. Todd Denson's on too. Todd plays John Morris, and you guys if you haven't seen Todd's interview, you need to go on the Struck YouTube and see that one. But he says it looks amazing. That's the first time I think he's seen it as well. So it's good. And Sue Ellen says, "Wow, what a great scene." So it's really cool. I mean, you guys have no idea. I mean, these guys were, again, we were in a parking lot, and all of a sudden, you guys are trekking toward Mount Ararat in Turkey. It's just incredible. It says a lot to the prowess of Wes Llewellyn and his technical skills. You guys, Wes is on too. So hey, Wes, looks fantastic. You did a great job on this scene. And the actors were spot on. I love it. I love it that one of the things we wanted to do is to show John who he was, and he loved to sing hymns. And apparently, what had happened is whenever there was tension, whenever there was doubt, he would just start breaking out in a hymn. And so it's very real to who he was. And it was just really cool to see that scene. You guys are in a foreign land. You didn't have, the money. Things weren't stacking up. Things were not going right, but God provided, and he opened the right doors for them to climb that day, or I guess that week. But yeah, it's incredible, Todd. It's just so good to see you play that role, and Todd Denson, and also Gabe Baker playing Roger. Just a really great scene.
Yeah, I want to know when we're going to Turkey to film.
I know, right?
That's where I want to go.
Yeah, forget about the green screen. We want to do it on actual location.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen. Well, Todd, listen. Thanks so much for being on today. You guys, it just went by so fast. And I appreciate your time. I know you've got to leave, but thanks again for joining us today. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the results of what y'all's distribution pitches are and all that. So go get them.
Yes. Thank you. We will. Thanks, Todd. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye. You guys, what an incredible guy. It's so true. He is a man among men, Todd. I mean, I've seen him. I've watched him through the years, and he's a good friend, but I've just seen him on and off the stage and on and off screen. He's the same guy, just a really good guy who loves the Lord and is always faithful and loyal. An incredible family, Anna and his two boys. You couldn't meet a more wonderful family. So I'm honored to know Todd. I'm so glad he's involved in Struck. Let's see who else we've got. Any other questions? I know Todd's gone, but maybe I can answer a few questions. Let's see. Donnie Huffman says, wonderful. I cannot wait to see the production. Annette says, I love this. The writing is perfect. So that's so good. Yes, Amanda says we like the writing too. Of course, she and Wes did write. So of course they're going to love their own writing. But no, seriously, it is good. Let's see who else. Sue Ellen says, Ben, you are a great host. I should post that one. That one needs to, the world needs to see that one, Sue Ellen. But yeah, it's so good, you guys. It's so good to see this and also see the production. I'm so glad we had a chance to show a preview of what Struck is. There is some epic adventure moments. We've got the Ark. We've got the struck by lightning on Mount Ararat. There's some crazy things that happen, but there's also some really intimate drama and who these people were. There's a lot of humanity in Struck. And I think that's incredible. I think a lot of people are going to be drawn to that aspect of the story. These people were real. There is a JB, there is a Roger, there is a John Morris, and of course there is a Noah. So those people did exist, and Noah's not a fairy tale. What I like about this production is that it is going to show Noah for who he was, and I'm privileged to play that role and play that role in the production because let's face it, today Noah is almost a fairy tale, and we see the little cartoons and we see the cartoon animals and the cartoon ark, but he was real and it really did happen. And I love that John Morris and his crew, his dad, his family, a team of scientists at ICR proved over and over again that the flood did exist. And so we're excited about that. We're going to have this one component in the Struck series where it's an interactive online experience where we'll have a lot of it's called Behind the Science, and it'll have some of the science that backs the story of Noah and the flood. So that is going to be incredible. I've got Ulysses says, what? No talking trees? What? No talking trees and no rock monsters. We're not going to have any of that. I love it. Okay, well, so I want to talk a little bit about, I've got Struck merch. You guys can go to strucktheseries.com, purchase the merchandise. Not only is it a statement for faith of faith for you guys, but also it helps us develop the series. So all profits go toward developing the series. So help us with that. That's a really great thing. And I'm telling you guys, I am so pumped and excited about being involved in Struck the series. And let's see who else we have here. Cassie says, I love sharing the connection you have with Noah based on the artist's viewpoint. I can't wait to see more. Thanks, Cassie. Tina says, such talented actors and producers in this project. Amanda says, no more rock monsters. Not going to happen. We even have a shirt on our website. This says no more rock monsters. I love it. But no, you guys, this is such a great series, and we're so excited about finishing it and showing you the finished product. What we've got, please be in prayer for us as we start pitching to distributors. We've got a host of people we're going to start talking with. We've already started the conversations, but we're going to continue those conversations once we get our pitch done and complete, and that's coming up really soon. So that's something we need your prayers for. So When you join the Lightning Club, you also are joining as a prayer partner and helping us get a little closer to the finish line. We really need that. We need prayer. We know how important prayer is. In fact, once a week, we have these incredible prayer partners that come together, and the producers, the prayer partners, we all join together and we pray for this project weekly. And it's not something we just do once a week, but we do throughout the week. But we all gather together because, God says that where two or more are gathered in my name, it shall be done. And as we agree together as touching this one thing struck, we're going to lift him up and we're going to pray and believe for the miraculous. And you guys have the power to make it happen. So get the word out, spread it on socials, join us on socials, do that. You can also become, like I said, a Lightning Club member. And if you so desire, you can donate on the website as well. And that's a Thunder partner. You could become a Thunder partner. Do you like the interplay of words there? You could become a Thunder partner. And actually, when you donate $25, you receive the Lightning Prayer Journal. It's a devotional from Tina Yeager. Tina wrote this, and I think Tina might be online as well. I saw her earlier. But yes, you can go to strucktheseries.com. You can become a Lightning Club member. That's going to give you access to all the latest and greatest stuff. And you can also become a Thunder partner. And any amount that you give, of course, is tax deductible, and which is a good thing. We are a 501c3, so that's tax deductible. But you give to help us get this series off the ground. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining. I so appreciate it. And I know the Struck team does as well. And join us next month. We'll have a different guest next month. I enjoyed speaking with Todd today. I hope you guys enjoyed the Struck Live today as well. And until next time, we will see you guys